Okay, these are going to be your electricity and circuit notes. You do need to leave a space at the bottom because you will have a summary with this one. First thing, we have to know what electricity is. Electricity is a form of energy. That is made inside particles of matter. We're really going to focus on the electrons. So just a side note, you do not have to write this part. Inside particles of matter means atoms. So you have your atom, you have the nucleus, and around the nucleus you have these rings or paths that items are following. You have protons, which are positive, electrons, which are negative, and neutrons, which are neutral. So like they cancel they just kind of, they're there. Protons float along, electrons float along, and so do neutrons. So we're looking, these things right here, the electrons, they bring the electrical charge. The electrons flow along an electric current. This is going to be the path of an electric charge around a circuit. And if you don't know what a circuit is, we'll talk more about it in a minute. So in a circuit, the electric current flows from negative end of a battery to the positive end of a battery. Negative is always shown with a minus. Positive is always shown with a plus sign. Electrons also carry the charge, so they carry the thing that is producing electricity. So for example, off to the side, we'll draw it underneath. We're going to need a couple of things. We're going to draw a circuit. We'll do a battery first. Our battery has a negative end and a positive end. I know we're going to need something to turn on. Oftentimes we use a light bulb. And we're going to need something to connect to the light bulb, so wires. This is saying that electricity is flowing along these wires, and as these electrons go through the wire, it starts to turn on the light bulb. You have to have a continuous circle for the light bulb to stay on. This circuit is also an example of a closed circuit. Once again, I advise you to draw these things. If the electrons do not go all the way around, you have an open circuit. Once again, you have a negative and a positive end. We'll use our light bulb again. And our wires, except this time, our wire is not going to be completely connected to the battery. Now, it could have been disconnected anywhere in between the light bulb and the battery, but I just chose right here. The electrons will flow through the wire to the light bulb, but because they would not actually connect to the battery, they would just drift off, meaning that this light bulb can't turn on because there's not a continuous flow. So open circuits, sorry, shut my pad. Open circuits do not have a continuous flow. There is a break in the wires, or there's a break in the current. Closed circuit, everything is flowing and everything is connected. Circuits must be complete for energy to flow. In every circuit, you have to have a power source. For us, this is often a battery. Circuits also need something to power or a recipient. Something that is going to receive or get the electricity. Often we use either a bell or a light bulb. Last thing that they must have are wires. This is what allows the flow of electricity. So our last thing I want to show you are just what some items might look like when they're drawn on a test or when they are drawn in a question. I'm going to make a quick little chart. We're going to draw 4 different items. And I'm going to have to go over my space here. So the first one is our power source. Our power source, or what they use to represent a battery, is going to look like 2 sticks, a long one and a skinny one. The long one will also have a long stick coming out the side, and the short skinny one will have a short stick coming out the side. They will be labeled negative and positive so that you know which side of the battery that the electricity should be flowing from. So if you see a power source that looks like this, it just means battery. Another thing that they often show are switches. You can have an open switch and a closed switch. Switches are always shown with 2 lines with circles. Mine are a little crooked. If the switch is open, the first circle will have a line coming outside of it. And if the switch is closed, everything will be connected. Next item you'll see is a lamp or a bulb. It starts with a circle with an X in it and 2 lines coming out the side. And like I said, because we can have a light bulb or a bell, you might see the bell symbol. It kind of looks like a mushroom. Okay guys, these are your notes for circuits. It's not a lot. Circuits don't change. For your summary, I want you to explain to me how to build a circuit. If you have trouble with that, look back at your note. Remember, you don't have to write this part here, but you do have to tell me, you do have to explain how to build a circuit. You don't have to write the actual prompt.